Amazing Spider-Man 2 will fail. Here's why. No one hates to deconstruct these things more than me, but I feel like in all the near-cosmic vastness of cyberspace, I alone am unfazed by the dazzling multi-million-dollar SFX and the fap allure of hot girl of the moment. These scriptwriters couldn't be more formulaic and uninspired if they were building their plot from a paint-by-numbers do-it-yourself hobby kit screenplay manual. So far, the production of Amazing Spider-Man 2 has been the most successful attention grabber. And wherever there are holes in the boat, well, just fill them with money, right? Reason number 5. The first Amazing reboot was anything but amazing. Many have argued that Raimi's Spider-Man wasn't in need of the rebooting. I disagree with that one. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies were great if you were a 9-year-old when the first one came out. For those of us in the post-puberty crowd, it left a lot more to be desired than corny Green Goblin Willem Dafoe, with lame bug puns, and massively overarching romantic subplot. Gee, I wonder if Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst were having sex in real life. So as a longtime Spidey fan, I was anxiously welcoming the reboot, when I heard the news that Sony planned to relaunch the franchise with a decidedly ultimate Marvel bent. But in a movie whose main antagonist is a self-created genetic chimera lizard creature, I found the whole, I just happened to stumble into this high-security room filled with spiders and magically got powers really weak. Followed by a bunch of cutesy scenes haphazardly placed throughout the movie without any regard to the flow of the overall story, whatever they managed to scrape together of a story, in order to quickly do away with having to deal with any actual post-dramatic life-changing events fallout, straight into, hey, I'm sort of this superhero now, because, spider bite, blah, blah, Uncle Ben died because of me, blah, Gwen, let's make out, blah, P.S., I love you forever and ever, Gwen, promises were meant to be spit on your father's warm grave. It would seem to me that it was more likely that Sony needed this reboot, more than the character needed it, because Sony needs Spider-Man to remain a Sony product. Otherwise, the film rights would default back to Marvel. Reason 4. Andrew Garfield is Peter Parker, again. Of course, that's to be expected. But I find this guy's brooding James Dean-esque hipster dorkiness a horrible mismatch for who and what Peter is supposed to stand for. Peter Parker is meant to come off like a character from Freaks and Geeks. An awkward, greasy-faced loser kid with a Jufro that smells vaguely of French cheese, sitting with his other dork brony friends writing up D&D modules in the cafeteria. Someone that would have went on to be a successful accountant if he had not acquired spider powers. Not some fucking Abercrombie and Fitch model that gives Gwen Stacy the shy emo smirk and makes her pussy gush like Amber Rain. When he gets his spider powers, nothing really changes for Parker. Instead, he just comes off as a dangerous hunk now. He's a bad choice, and I think it robs depth from the Spider-Man character in a big way. All of the aspirational qualities that Stan Lee and Steve Ditko always had are glossed over in order to use the actor's star power as a draw for teen girls. Reason 3. Supervillain clusterfuck. Everyone's been complaining about Jamie Foxx being cast as Electro for stupid reasons. Some for his ethnicity, and some for the Dr. Manhattan-esque look of the character, aka Django Smurf. For the record, I think Jamie is a pretty good actor, and there have been several incarnations of Electro where Max Dillon is black, so there's nothing wrong with the casting. And the scarred blue glowing appearance is very much in line with the Ultimates Universe version of Electro. If anything, I'm surprised people haven't been complaining more about Giamatti being cast as Rhino. But again, they're obviously borrowing heavily from Marvel's Ultimate line, which isn't well known to the general public as the classic incarnations. The big thing I'm noticing here is the Sinister Six vibe brewing. Sony and the ASM production team haven't been shy about their plans to expand the Spider-Man cinematic universe, specifically with regard to the Sinister Six and Venom. That has me wondering if Sony thinks they can pull off an Avengers-style gamble with villains, in the same way that Disney did with heroes. If you look closely, hints are dropped at Vulture, Venom, and Michael Morbius in the various trailers for ASM 2. So all of that said, there's going to be a lot of characters to juggle, and they haven't even really matured Peter yet when the movie is all about him. much less a single villain. It seems like this will end up being a movie that's not really a movie at all, but a setup to a movie, much the way Thor and Captain America are foreplay to Avengers. Reason 2. Gwen Stacy. It's only a matter of time before her character, portrayed by Emma Stone, is killed off. Something I bring up mostly because of its predictability as a plot point of mediocre emotional resonance. Reason 1. Overused tropes. I've already seen a Spider-Man movie where the web-slinging hero battles Green Goblin. So what makes ASM 2 different? Answer: nothing. If Hollywood's going to butcher every childhood hero, how about some fresh ideas? How often is it that someone's superpowers also comes with side effects or inconveniences? A movie about a person whose body has been corrupted by spider DNA. Ever seen The Fly? Is it too late to get David Cronenberg involved? How many times do superpowered individuals use their abilities for more than becoming heroes or villains? There are other jobs in the world, you know. Superpowers could make you a millionaire, and I'll bet you could do a lot more charitable work writing fat checks. But that ain't gonna happen. And what are the odds that Peter will fall for an overweight actress as the love interest? Not. How often have you seen Spider-Man miss? How often does he ever botch his complicated aerial gymnastic maneuvers? Never. What are the odds that despite having 3 megavillains with a Pentagon-sized budget, Peter will trounce every bad guy using only his genius and a box of scraps? Highly likely. Why not use that miraculous science to make substantial changes to the world? Why can't someone at least cure cancer in a movie? No, sorry. I have to disarm all these nuclear missiles using kung fu. No time for that. Isn't anybody else tired of the hero saves the sexy damsel bit? Show of hands? Anybody? So, what can we honestly expect from this movie? Not much. In a realm of pure fantasy, nothing interesting ever happens. Why is that? Well, let's not kid ourselves here. The superhero format is running on fumes. And more so than a lack of creativity, it's that movies have become so expensive to make nowadays that producers are quick to reuse dependable formulas to get asses in the seats and make a return on the studio's investment, or at least break even. No one's taking a chance on being original. Creativity is very, very risky. It's much better business sense to keep on rehashing material which has a proven track record.